Bear market conditions. We're snapping our own thing.
Can't afford G anymore.
G. Where are you, G? Can't afford you, sorry. Bear market is hit. Well, you know what? Bear market's here, but you know what? We're having a good time. We had a great time. Australian CryptoCon was over the weekend. It was awesome. I had a great time. Nick had a great time, I think. Jared had a great time. We did 500 hours of live streaming. We had like 30,000 viewers or some crazy stuff. Like, it was awesome. So no one's really minded that the fact that the Bitcoin market has been pretty ordinary. I think it's fallen much further and faster than most pundits, i.e. you, suggested.
You're putting words in a lot of people's mouths here, I think.
Am I?
Like, no one really cares, and there's the people out there going, I care.
That's entirely possible. Well, the people at the conference didn't seem to care.
Yeah, no, I will admit it was
the vibes
awesome
are good.
Vibes
the vibes were
surprisingly good. I didn't get anyone asking me, when's the bottom in?
No one
Do
cared.
I buy? Do I sell? People were just there to,
have fun.
Meet us, have fun. Yeah, it's good.
It was fantastic. Well, the crypto quants bull score index has declined to extreme bearish levels. Look, the fear and greed index is at 9. We thought 17 was terrible. We've halved it.
Yeah, it's 14. Well, it's 14 last week.
Yeah.
Down to 9, which is extreme bearish. I think we're back up to 19 though, so
Oh.
people are a little bit more excited. The last sort of day or two, we've had a slow recovery, which, to be fair, is the first time we've seen any kind of green shoots in so long. It's just been down only with no bumps, no sort of recovery, no little,
Nothing, just
nothing,
free fall.
no up motion at all for so long now. Sentiment has been beyond crushed. I know every week I come in and say sentiment is cooked, but it's just people have just forgotten, that they even own crypto now.
Well, look. I mean, like I said, like no longer is crypto the shiny trade, the AI trade. Look, the AI is the new shiny thing, and even that trade has been petering out. Well, at least concerns over that particular trade. So it's been challenging, but whatever. Look, we're down 35 grand off the peak. So everyone was talking about October 10 like it was the worst thing that ever happened. What about now? Anyway, whatever. There's some bright spots. Forget it. We've got some other things to talk about. Look, there's heaps happening. This week was great. I read all the articles in a real deviation from my previous form. Actually, read the articles this week. Cardano, Jared's favourite. He's got some updates for us there. Cardano, your mate, Charles Hoskinson.
I wouldn't call us mates.
Wow,
Just acquaintances.
Your mate. So there's been some trouble over there. They've been vibe coding way too much. Not good. But look, you know what? Trump has been in the news as well. So Trump is going to meet with Xi Jinping, China's president. And, it's so funny. But like, I love that the world is being ruled by tweets. I guess X posts these days. Now, everyone was like, oh, they don't like each other. Oh, I'll put tariff on you. No, I'll put tariff on you. No, I'll put tariff on you. And all of a sudden, they're like, no, we're best mates. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, this is the classic, everyone sort of trades on the taco principle, which is, Trump always chickens out. And so far, it just happens, right? He's like, oh, I'm gonna increase the tariffs by 100%, and then he's like, we're gonna go meet and we're gonna form, he's a good friend and it's a strong economy, and I don't know, like at this stage, if you fall for these kind of Trump wild announcements,
but the market
it's
moves
on
heaps,
you, right?
But it's not just everyone. Like everyone gets wrapped up in these trades because they like markets.
This is this is like news technical analysis, right? People know that Trump's going to back out, or there's going to be like a soft landing. He's never going to just cut people off, but you might as well trade it because it's going to go up. So and by trading that kind of information, you're contributing to the move. So that's just how it is.
It's crazy, man. It's just crazy. Like I don't know if it's a boy who cried wolf or what, but it's like he comes in, he'll do his thing, and we're always like, are you for real? Like, why are you worried about this? Like he's going to change his tune in a little while, but whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, if you can trade it, it makes sense, right?
Volatility is every trader's dream, right? I guess.
Yeah.
Well, not according to Tom Lee, because apparently he knows exactly why the volatility is here. We've touched on this again many times. Tom Lee, we love Tom Lee. Fun Strat. Everyone who owns ETH should love Fun Strat and Tom Lee because he's been buying so much.
Yes, he's the last buyer.
Now
he's the buyer of last resort.
He knows. Well, but he's not naming names. He knows.
Yeah.
At least he claims he knows.
Yeah.
That a lot of this market action is because there is someone who shall not be named, even though we may name names, but that was just speculation. He knows maybe who the actual person is.
Is it him?
Yeah.
Is that what he's saying? Is that what's coming up?
He's basically saying, I know someone. Is
know
it
someone.
you? Are you broke? But he knows why. So there's some market makers that have got some heavy hits to the balance sheet, and they are adding to the crunch for the fact that they cannot contribute liquidity, and then they are kind of forced sellers. You know,
Yeah, this
as
has
part
been
of
an ongoing rumor for a couple of weeks now that we have spoken about before. There's this mystery market maker who is who's supposedly gone under, or at least
In
has a massive hole in their balance sheet because of what happened mainly on Binance, I suppose, but which telescoped across the whole market. No one everyone's like whispering Wintermute. I don't know. I'm definitely not Tom Lee. I don't know who the market maker is. In my experience with Tom, looking at market makers that are out there, Wintermute seems okay. Again, maybe it is them, no idea, but they don't appear to be showing any signs of stress that I can see. What have we got here, Jared?
Jared's itching to talk about Cardano.
No, he wants to put off Mr. Maker.
This is the
mystery
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 Oh, that's
market.
the mystery market maker.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Yeah, that guy. That guy.
He looks like he's having a good time though.
Yeah. My kids used to watch that guy. But I kind of steered them away from him because I just didn't like him. That Mr. Maker guy.
He's a craftsman.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's like
One
Tonya,
of the
Tanya-
finest
what's it?
craftsmen getting around.
Tonya Tadman? No. You know what I'm talking about? That she's like the craft lady. It's Tanya Todman. Tonya Todman? Anyway.
Keep guessing, Nick. Keep guessing. Maybe you'll guess right. It's one of those variations, I'm sure.
Yeah.
One of those variations.
Yeah.
Mate, I have
Sidebar.
not been on the kids' craft TV bandwagon since Mr. Squiggle was around. So
Whoa. Okay. Is he still around, or was this
I
from your
hope so.
childhood?
Yeah, from my childhood.
Oh wow. Okay.
Well, once I stopped watching kids' craft shows, I didn't go back.
You didn't, and you don't do it with your kids, obviously.
No.
Yeah. Fair
But-
enough. No, neither do I.
Well, Mr. Squiggle wasn't around, so I had no interest in going back.
Yeah.
Before we get into the news, a question from Luke Ryan Marek. Any talks at Oz CryptoCon that you guys liked or that you heard were good, apart from obviously on this stream?
Wow. Oh, well, we haven't even talked about Oz CryptoCon, the good, the bad. I mean, we talked about the vibes. The vibes can get you in trouble, as Jared well knows, with Cardano.
We'll find out.
Look, you know what? I did not listen to a single talk. And that's not because I wasn't interested in a lot of the talks. I didn't want to get along to a lot of the talks. But we were so busy on the booth. I felt like the entire time. One of the best things about the booth, at least from my perspective, was that it was a great opportunity to meet people face to face. And so I feel like we were just constantly if you weren't talking to this guy, you're talking to the next guy or girl or whatever. So unfortunately, I didn't see any talks. So I've got nothing to add.
I'm actually the same. I did a spin around the convention center when I first arrived on Saturday morning. And yeah, I sort of poked my head in on maybe 2 talks, and there was a bunch of people there. And so I guess you and I, Lee, we went to the Singapore token convention, which is kind of Singapore's, at least that their version of it. And I was everyone knows the Singapore one's the biggest one. It's
huge.
Multi-level. If you saw, we did a video of a walk around where we kind of went through all the levels. And it's up somewhere. And this one, the Australian one, obviously wasn't as big. Like the physical, floor space wasn't as big, but there were so many people there. I was pleasantly surprised how many people there were. All of the, the speakers, the events that I looked in on were full. There's everyone sitting down. There's a panel of people talking. Everyone was listening. Yeah. So sorry, I actually didn't see any either. As Lee says, kind of spent most of our time on the booth. So did you get to do this? So for those who don't know, we actually had
our official response is we know that people listen to talks.
Yeah, they were there and they happened. At least 2, we can confirm. Yeah, so for those who don't know, we actually had a similar kind of podcast setup, different chairs, but I think same mics and same camera, I suppose, set up at the actual crypto convention. So if you went along, there's 2 seats. You could sit down, have a chat to one of us or Jared or anyone else who was manning the desk at the time, manning the booth. And we had that whole thing set up and it was live streaming the entire time. I didn't actually get a chance to sit down. I was there on Saturday, and every time I was there, Jared was already with someone, and every time Jared wasn't with someone, you weren't there, and so it just never worked out for me. Did you manage to get and sit down with anyone?
Yeah, I did. I did a little bit on Saturday, but Saturday was just so busy, and then on Sunday we did heaps. We had a bunch of people drop by. We can drop some names later on, but we also had complete randoms. Like
Yeah.
people who were just walking through the crowd would like, hey, can I jump on? We let them on because
So
it was there to chat. We had like a young girl, I think her name was Sabrina, who came. I have no idea who Sabrina is. All I know is she was like a fashion influencer, but she was also here talking trading, and she interviewed me.
Yeah,
And
good.
she asked me a bunch of questions, and I couldn't really understand what she was saying, to be honest. So I just
You
kind of
said not profitable over and over again.
she said you can only answer with either profitable or not profitable. So I just kind of answered just based on vibes. I didn't actually know what I was wanting to. So I'm sure
What
I
did you
said
sign up for?
I didn't know. Yeah. That was a great talk.
The 2 days are actually available on YouTube, and I've trimmed them down so there's no empty chairs. And
Oh yeah,
if you do go and have a look, the CEO of Finder dropped in, Fred
Shibesta.
and dropped an absolute career-ruining 20 minutes of feature-filled content. So if you go find day one on our YouTube channel and you're up for a laugh, definitely go check that one out.
yeah.
Cool.
Fred loves the mic. Funnily enough, when we first started recording, we didn't get our act together and get there. We didn't start at 9 o'clock on Saturday, but there was just 2 empty chairs, and we had like 175 people live streaming just watching 2 empty chairs.
Yeah.
And so I said to Jared, just give them a job because they're doing better than us.
Yeah. Maybe you and I should just.
Yeah, if we, I was thinking we should just start this podcast with just not be here, just let the chairs do the work, and then once the audience builds up, then we could jump on.
Yeah, and kind of hijack the chairs, fame.
I think the numbers went down after we got on though.
People
And that was
talking.
quite good. I think we got 2,500 unique viewers throughout the day on the first day. A peak of about 275
Wow.
concurrent viewers.
Excellent.
Second day was a bit muted because the ICC internet dropped out and it kept interrupting the stream. But yeah, it was really good.
Cool.
Got to make it a regular thing for Token next year as well.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
could do it at Token as well. So look, what else should we? Any other questions? Oh, if you've got any other questions about CryptoCon, if you weren't there or would like to know, unfortunately, our first effort was a bit of a fail because we couldn't answer the first question. If there's any other questions, let us know. We'll jump on there. If not, let's get back to the news.
Yeah, well, I guess my question back to you, what was his name? Luke? Did you go? If anyone did go and they saw something awesome, please let us know. Happy to chat about it. But yeah, for us, I don't know. I did a quick walk around, sort of poked my head in, and then was at the booth for most of the time. But it was, great vibes. I recommend, whenever this happens next, I suppose next year, hopefully we're not market condition. Imagine the convention when the market conditions are like good instead of rock bottom. Like these prices are so low, you're legally obligated to buy right now. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, it'd be good.
Well, Tom Lee is not too disturbed. He bought 69,000 ETH, so he's just still going anyway. But he's a bit in the hole himself. He's down $3 billion in unrealized gains. That's I guess he's got enough money to back it up, so it doesn't matter.
Well, I'm sure it does matter to him. I feel sorry for Tom Lee, and I think we've spoken about this guy before. He's put his whole personality behind Ethereum and how he's an ETH bull, and then I feel like the moment he's done this, it's been sort of, he's had like a month of good times, and then it's been just down only since then.
Which is funny because Ethereum's only had like 3 good months in the last 5 years.
Yeah, exactly. And the 3 good months are when he bought. And to be fair, there's a massive dip at the moment. Ethereum's dipped more than Bitcoin. And he's put his money where his mouth is once again, and, he's buying the dip. And he seems to be a better buyer of the dip than like traditionally Saylor, strategy has been, which maybe is his mistake. Maybe he needs to really just, close his eyes and press the buy button like Saylor has and buy the top every time. But he's being a bit more, seems a bit more measured about his purchases and he seems to be buying the dip. But yeah, poor guy, he's down so bad. I don't know if they have a liquidation point per se. I don't think so. But I think that'd be watched closely if one existed.
Well, speaking of Saylor, so everyone loves Saylor. And in fact, I met a few of the guys from Strategy who were there on the weekend. Fong Lee was at the event. I didn't get to meet Fong Lee. He gave a talk.
The CEO.
The CEO,
Strategy,
correct? Not the Michael, who's the chairman. So Fong Lee was there, and he did give an address to an absolutely packed audience. I wasn't there, unfortunately, but in his talk. But
You weren't part of his talk. You're hoping to be part of this. like special shout out to my mate Lee.
Yeah. That was a disappointment, that personal disappointment. But at a general level, I wasn't even at his talk to hear him.
Wow.
So I was
Shit,
kind
he
of
could have shouted
it,
you
it
out,
would have been
yeah.
horrible if he did.
Yeah,
and I wasn't
imagine
there.
that. Yeah.
Imagine that.
Stand up, Lee. Well, stands up.
Oh, Fong, feel bad. Well, though I did hear that he flew out in Michael's private jet. So I guess he didn't mind too much. He cried himself home in his private jet.
Yeah, with
Where's
his seed
Lee?
phrases. You know what's that meme where the guy's drying his tears with the dollar bills?
Might have been one of those. But they were great guys. And well, this leads into, the MSCI. Okay, so there's some news coming in here, and I know we can unpack this one here. So there were some talks. The strategy has been a little bit in the wars. There's a little bit of beef, potentially, on at least spark on social media. Maybe not a real thing, but at least on social media, saying that there's rumours, at least, that JP Morgan has been shorting MicroStrategy shares, which has prompted some calls for like a GameStop-style short squeeze by all the crypto bros.
Yeah, hopium.
But the interesting thing, and this comes to do with the MSCI, sort of suggesting that, like, I guess treasury funds, digital asset treasury businesses in particular, may not be included in the index.
Yes.
Of course, Michael was quick to point out that no, we just have a treasury that happens to have Bitcoin. We're actually a software analytics business. We're a data analytics business. Software, they provide software that provides data analytics on people's soft. I don't know exact term for it. Anyway, the point being,
No, keep trying.
this is like Tonya Tadman, Tab software Tadman.
Today,
Tonya's software
Man,
engine
that really
Tadman.
did something in my brain. When I
Yeah.
was trying to
Well,
figure
right
it
now
out.
I'm having the same thing. It's probably because you infected my brain with this rice.
Yes. I halved forked your brain. Anyway, go on.
just
talk about
like Charles Cardano.
Just like Charles.
Jared. Jared's going to step in any minute now to defend his mate. Anyway,
Friend, acquaintance, lover.
I think it's pretty clear that, anyway. So first of all, Nick, what is the controversy? And let's start there. What's the controversy, and does strategy have something to worry about?
Yeah. Okay. So to break it down, MSCI is a sort of like an index family. Very similar one or a competitor to them is the S&P, which a lot of most people have probably heard of. S&P 500 is a very, very famous index, and the idea is it's sort of, for example, with the S&P example, S&P 500 is the top 500 companies in the US, and it's an index that basically, if you put $1 into the S&P, well, let's make it easier. If you put $500 into the S&P 500, $1 of each of those will get allocated to the S&P 500, those companies inside, in various sort of weightings. So if you're looking to buy a broad range of companies out of the US, the S&P 500 is a great way to do it because it allows you to sort of just get exposure by buying one ticker on the stock market. MSCI is the same kind of thing. So they've got a bunch of indexes. They have different types I don't know if they've got the MSC 500 per se, but they've got different sort of industry areas, and they'll have their like top 100, top 500, etc., where you can kind of buy this index. The controversy here is that basically they've come along and said, look, DAT companies, these treasury companies like Strategy, are included in our index at the moment because they're so valuable in our, what do they call it? The large cap. They've got a large cap index, which Strategy is included in. They've got like a small cap and a micro cap as well, which includes a bunch of other treasury companies. And they're basically saying, look, we're actually not so sure if these treasury companies should be included anymore for multiple reasons, which basically include things like, well, the main one is that, these treasury companies, they don't actually produce anything useful. They're essentially funds. So when you buy a share in Strategy, you're buying a share in a Bitcoin fund, essentially. You're buying something that correlates almost directly to Bitcoin. Because of the way they do it, it's essentially a levered Bitcoin product. And it's not really fair to include that as an index of the market because you're not indexing the market at that point. What you're doing is indexing a cryptocurrency specifically that has nothing to do with the operational excellence of the company itself. And what they're trying to do is get an index of the market, of the companies, of the US sort of company landscape, I guess.
Yeah.
And so they're threatening now to take treasury companies, and the biggest one obviously is Strategy out of these indexes, which will essentially cause a bunch of forced selling on Strategy and the other treasury companies that are included in the small and micro cap. I guess one thing to point out at this point, when you sell a share of MicroStrategy, that doesn't cause a sale of any kind of Bitcoin to happen in the market. So no one's forcing the price of Bitcoin down directly. But I guess what's happening is that people are sort of using this as a signal to say, oh look, if the share price of Strategy, which is clearly a Bitcoin aligned, treasury company, is going down,
They won't be
the
able to buy
general
as much.
sentiment
Yeah.
of Bitcoin must be going down. So let's get out of this trade. Yeah, that's sort of the long and short of it. It would be a big deal, I think. I guess as part of the news of this MSCI, them rethinking treasury companies came out basically at the same time as the September 10th flash crash, where the liquidation spiral happened, and we spoke about this one before, where Binance had some interesting oracles set up and things just went from bad to worse. So basically people are now suggesting, was it just this big shorter that came in the market moments before Trump made his announcement on October 10th, or was it actually or contributed to by this MSCI announcement, which happened at the same time, basically suggesting that that they're going to remove treasury companies from the indices.
Has the removal been decided yet, or is it just yet?
So it's the decision comes on January 15th, but everyone's just sort of front running that decision, I guess, and going, oh crap. And to be honest, the more I look at this thing, the more it makes sense for them to remove it. So I think in the past we've spoken about the S&P inclusion. So technically, Strategy is big enough now to be included in the S&P 500, which again, as I spoke about before, is one of the biggest indexes out there. And if it were to be included, that'd be huge news. But up until now, every kind of decision, I think there's a decision every month or two that the S&P discretionary committee makes on who gets included and who gets excluded. And every time they've had the opportunity to decide on Strategy going into this index, it's kind of been delayed, pushed off, not talked about, and it hasn't been included. And it sort of makes sense, really, because as part of the mandate of these index families, they're trying to create this index that really represents the market. And it doesn't, and it shouldn't be representing companies that just basically have an underlying commodity or financial instrument. It shouldn't be just companies that have no
Value in the actual business.
Exactly, they're
cash
not
flows
sort of
of the-
operating. They're not doing normal operations. So we can go on to talk about Strategy. Kind of responded to this as well. They were like, "Hey, guys, we're a real company. We have $500 million revenue on our software company. We do a lot of the stuff you spoke about before. We do all this real stuff in the world. We don't just hold Bitcoin. We're not some shell company that has Bitcoin only. We do all this other stuff. We, have real operations, real team, real staff building things, blah, blah, blah." But the fact is, $500 million revenue sounds pretty big, but their equity is $90 billion, with the Bitcoin. So
a lot of the value is derived from its holdings.
Bitcoin's 99% of the value of this company, and 500 million is just a drop in the ocean. It doesn't really count. So when these S&P and MSCI guys are looking at this stuff, they're going to be like, yeah, okay, sure, but the fact is you're way, way, way overweight on the Bitcoin stuff. Essentially, and for all intents and purposes, you are a Bitcoin treasury company. You are a fund for Bitcoin. Your stock price only tracks Bitcoin. That's where everyone looks. They don't look at, you delivered a bit of software to some random company. That no one cares about that anymore. And so I think it's going to be a real uphill battle. Interestingly, in the Michael Saylor, the strategy chairman's sort of tweet about this thing, at the end of he kind of tries to explain himself away and go, we're a real company, blah, blah. And then at the end, he basically says, but we don't give a shit anyway. All we're doing is we're buying Bitcoin. This is what we love. And, and we're gonna do this forever, and you guys can go to hell, kind of thing. He doesn't say that, but you know what I mean. He kind of ends the tweet with, we're doing this anyway, and we don't really care if we're in the industry or not in the index.
It's okay. Business analytics software.
Yeah. I mean, I don't disagree with him, but I just think, unfortunately, he's a victim of his own success at this stage.
A victim of
and he's a victim. Well, if they get removed from the MSC, the share price is going to take a big hit. It's going to be a bunch of forced sellers, because everyone who has this index, and owns a part of MicroStrategy, and then they're not in the index anymore, they sell that MicroStrategy and they buy whoever moves into the index. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's going to take a hit. I don't think Saylor really cares. He's obviously in it for the long term, and I don't know how long he's going to have to live. How long is he going to have to live for? Like if he,
What do you mean?
like, you know, to
How long
I
is he
mean,
going to live for?
because
How long do any of us have to live for?
well, for the Bitcoin price to get high enough that he's the ruler of the universe.
Oh.
I mean, it's at this stage the price is going the wrong way for him. So
Well, you talk to Kathy Wood, and I mean, we're talking $1 million Bitcoin price within the foreseeable future.
$1.2 million in 2030. I agree.
That's not far.
It's not far. I mean, that's not. You can't rule the universe on one point. I think you need Bitcoin going like hundreds of millions. Then he could rule the universe probably. Kathy Wood's an interesting one. I was sort of looking at her because she's been getting in the news a bit about her position on Bitcoin, and it's like I thought I'd ask ChatGPT like how wrong has Kathy been? Because everyone loves to hate on Kathy these days. Like it's always like, oh, it's the worst performing this and it's worst performing that. The fact is, since 2014, the fund her ARC fund has performed something like 384%, which is very strong. Like it's over a long period of time. She's done bloody well, but it's just it seems that she's still like the most. She was rated like the number one for value destruction in the last couple of years or something like that. And it's not because her fund has been doing so horribly wrong, but it just seems that the people who buy into her fund just time it in the worst possible way. And so they buy at the top and then they just get wrecked every time. Even though if you'd sort of taken a longer view of what she's done, it's done pretty well, like, you know, objectively pretty well. Anyway, that was a bit of a...
That is interesting because I mean she does get quoted a lot, and I've listened to her views. I mean she always sounds insightful, but I've never actually done the analysis of her fund. But if she's up since inception, some 4x or whatever it is, then it doesn't seem that bad. But like I don't know, the benchmark. Speaking of people who've been wrecked, Jared, not you specifically.
Well, no, actually.
Well, no, but maybe literally. Well,
yeah.
you look, man.
Just his personality. Like when you hang your personality on someone like Charles.
Yeah, Jared, you have kind of like really come out
I feel
and
like I'm being misrepresented.
I don't know, Jared. You spend a lot of time saying, "Hey, ADA, I'll die on this hill," and
Not financial advice.
not financial advice. Because, well, I mean, man, I'm talking about OM every week, but Cardano versus the vibe coding. So look, paint the scene. Basically, what's happened?
Okay.
You're a huge ADA fan.
Oh, look,
Charles Hoskin you've got photos of him up on your wall.
I can admit defeat when
You looked at the 1 day time chart and you said I'm up 6%. Life is good.
Let's not talk about my entry price, but
hang on, I'll give you an intro to you know, just so you can tell us why it's all nonsense. We don't have to listen to it. So apparently there's been some issues on the chain because one of the guys from Cardano has been caught vibe coding. He had some AI driven code he'd be pushed out and it's blown up on him. But life's still good apparently.
So yeah, it's look. Oftentimes when you read the official report and then what everyone's saying, the truth is probably somewhere halfway in the middle. And so I've done the complete objective view, and I've watched the videos, I've read the reports, and I've heard all the Twitter trolls. So look, this is basically what's happened. On Friday night, or Friday morning, so it was like Friday night our time. Old mate Hoskinson was in London for the midnight summit, and he gets a tap on the shoulder, and one of his cronies says, "Hey, look, someone's exploited a bug in testnet. It's an old bug that we haven't really worried about since 2022 because a lot of the node versions don't even see it." He's like, "Oh, okay, fair enough," and he went back to drinking whiskey. And then a couple hours later, he gets another tap. They've just done it on testnet, and he's like, "Oh no!"
Oh yeah.
Sorry, on mainnet, on Cardano. And so they immediately, luckily they had all the heads there at the summit. So they developed the war room. They went in. They found that it was a node operator that had been tinkering around in testnet and found through vibe coding. It vibe coded up a little thing which exploited a serialization bug on testnet and found that what he could do was essentially remove a delegation amount. And if you know anything about Cardano staking, you can delegate to your favorite pool. And he was able to withdraw ADA that he didn't actually put down in the first place. And as soon as he's done that, the newer nodes on the most recent node software version accepted his withdrawal, and all the old ones said no. Now, what I find funny is the main organization, Intersect, has come out and said this created a chain partition. They didn't want to say hard fork, they said chain partition. So they used some colorful language to try to say it otherwise, but the good news is that it was only a third of the nodes which went ahead with this poisoned, or they call it the pig chain. That's the nickname at the moment. And no customer funds were lost. Apparently, all of the DEXs and the exchanges, apparently all the exchanges, were told not to process withdrawals just for until we've set up a hotfix. They've done a hotfix within a few hours, and within 14.5 hours, they'd gotten the consensus amount of stake pool operators to upgrade their nodes to this brand new version 10.5.3. They found they basically there was no funny business during that time. Any legitimate transactions were replayed through the main or correct chain, and everything's back to normal apparently. Now, there's a few rumors that it was just some kid just vibe coding his way to try and take out millions. The way the nodes are set up, even if he had successfully been able to steal some money, there's a maximum amount of ADA delegated to each stake pool. So he could only have done it one at a time, and there was a maximum of like 14.5 million ADA, which is still a decent amount. It's still like $8 million.
I'll take it.
Australian. But so there's a bit of controversy, like the big heads are trying to downplay it, the haters are trying to upplay it. I don't know if we got notification as an exchange to pause withdrawals, but there was no, apparently, by all reports, there was nothing lost. It was just one of those things where you have a fork because of a non-consensus between stake pool operators. So we're all good now, apparently. But look, even as an ADA lover, not a maxi, it is concerning that you know, and this wasn't some kid either. It was a seasoned ex-stake pool node operator who had access to the testnet. So you don't get access to the testnet if you're just some kid.
Don't you?
No. There's a vetting process.
Really?
Yeah.
So if I wanted to do some testing, they're like, no.
Oh, you got to be approved for the testnet.
Yeah, right.
So I don't know how it is on other chains, but look, so
doesn't seem very decentralized.
Is it as bad as Intersect and Emergo and IOG make out? It's probably worse than that. Is it as bad as some of the haters online are making out? Not as bad. So again, somewhere in the middle. Charles is his usual self. So take his explanation as you will.
The thing I liked about this one was that the new nodes on the current most up-to-date software are the ones that did the bad thing, and the old nodes are the ones that were like, nah, this is a malformed transaction. We're not going to.
That was confusing to me too.
Yeah.
I would have thought that the newer ones would have been the ones that would have been okay, but apparently the way they were set up, the newer nodes would look at a longer serialization string of certain transactions, and so that's why they allowed it to. And the older ones like, no, that's bogus. So if that teaches you anything, never update your software.
Never update your Cardano software.
But if like anyone. For anyone who has a native Cardano wallet, whether that's the full node Daedalus or your software ones like Nami or Eternal, no actions required. All your ADA is safe, no problems.
Man, Jared, you did go deep into this.
Oh, I know my stuff. This wasn't asked in my interview question, but I do know a little bit.
I like this. So Charles had a quote at the end. He said, but these things impact the lives, money, and commerce of millions of people. I'm like, yeah, nice one. Nice try, Charles.
He's quoting wallet numbers. And
he's
assuming
like
that every wallet
700,000 of them are,
and look, we do have some on-chain activity, all right? Leave it alone. But yeah, so it's not looking good. It wasn't looking good. I mean, a lot of the value of ADA recently has been sucked out by the privacy token, which runs side by side with ADA. So Cardano recently launched Midnight, which is basically a parachain or a side chain that uses ADA as gas. But all of the liquidity and all of the value of Midnight was taken from the ADA treasury.
So it's parasitic to
So they basically birthed a new chain out of the old chain, and everyone who just wants ADA is like, oh, I've seen 10% go as soon as they did it. And so you see a lot of dilution of value from there. But, you know, in the privacy space, we're seeing Zcash make great gains. Privacy is the one element of crypto which is doing well at the moment. So, you know, it's not over until the fat bearded man sings.
So, yeah. Well, Jared, well, I've learned something. Thank you. Although, importantly, if all these things are happening and it's not bad news, why is it down so bad?
Oh, well, I mean, the greater market is down, and as well, I mean, that dilution of the token through Midnight didn't help as well.
Where are we at with Cardano from like a previous, like 2021 high?
2021 high was $4.20 Australian. Oof. And that's the exact moment I told my dad to get in. Yeah, so Dad, if you're listening, I'm sorry. I offered to buy it off you at a higher price, but he said, no, it'll come back. I'm like, oh, you got more belief than I do.
Where is it now?
40 cents.
60, 70 cents, I think.
Aussie.
I haven't been checking it, but it's down.
It's at 40 cents.
40 cents
US. Yeah.
And there was something like $3.8 million US of longs on
3.8 million. So nothing.
And there was $19.8 million of shorts placed on there to go below 40 cents.
Where that's minuscule. Is this just one trading venue or something?
This is what it might have been, just one trading platform.
Yeah, okay.
But it just shows there's 6 times as many shorts as there were
which will be pretty close to across the market, I'd say at the moment. It's like when you got a fear and greed index of 9, and even when they were up to 19, it's still like it's going to be major. If you're long, you're going to be earning funding.
Yeah. I like the fundamentals, and until this weekend, I loved how scientifically peer-rigged it was. But we'll see. That again, it's not over until the extreme right-wing libertarian nutjob says it's over. So this hard fork that happened wasn't a classic consensus hard fork. It was like some underlying library in the software, the Node software, that had changed its behavior between versions. So the result was what appeared to be a hard fork, but it wasn't actually. Like no consensus rules changed. The consequence of this library made blocks different, unfortunately. But I don't know. The price didn't really go down that much. People, is that a good thing? Is it because people realized it was, it wasn't a big deal, or was it because no one's looking at Cardano in the first place? Won't comment, but column A, column B.
Column A.
Jared was looking for all of us.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, there definitely are people that are using it, and there is still a fair amount of TVL on the chain for various reasons. So, look, people did notice.
What is the TVL? It was like 200 mil or something.
I don't have those numbers in front of me. It was a lot better a few years ago. That's all I know.
Believe that.
Where can I buy the something 2049 token during the pre-sale?
Well, I think this is a bot.
Yeah, okay. We're not going to answer that. We don't have those kind of insider information.
ALX 2049. I will look it up, just in case.
Look it up for the bot.
It literally, what's the name of that? Travis bot. Oh, no.
B6X.
Oh, B6X. Okay.
Where can I buy that?
Yeah, sorry. Don't have that info.
I had a guy who reached out to me. He wasn't a bot, but it was almost as wild as a bot. Came to me, this is in 2021. There was a token called Elon 1000X. 1000X Elon.
I remember that.
100X Elon. Or something like 100X Elon or 1000X Elon, whatever. 100X. Let's call it 100X. I don't know how many X's it was. But there was like 100 zeros between the decimal place and the value of it. And I had a guy came up to me, he called me, I never met him. And he asked me if we had enough liquidity for $6.5 billion worth of it.
Because he was going to sell, I assume.
Well, he was under the impression there was a good community around 100X Elon, and that it was going to be. He reliably thought that it was going to be worth maybe 6 cents, which would replace his bag holdings at around about $6.5 billion. I said, "Come back to me when we get there." We never got there.
Yeah.
There's now
I feel like that's a recurring.
1,000x the amount of zeros between the decimal places. That's about it.
Yes.
Should have specified. The devil's always in the detail. It could be the same guy. Maybe this new token is 1000x Elon.
Could he have been asking to short 1000x Elon and thus earning $6 billion?
No, he needed to make he was 100% certain. We needed $100 or possibly.
I looked into this token. It's actually token 20. It's a token 2049 token, and there's a big warning sign saying this token is not associated with token 2049.
Yeah, okay.
There we go.
All right. Well,
Okay.
just in case there are people listening this or reading, this bot's token is probably a scam. So I'm going to do the opposite of advertising it and tell you not to buy it. Not financial advice. I don't know. Like telling you not to buy, is that considered financial advice? I suppose it is. Yeah. Yeah. Damn. Okay. Well, I personally won't be buying this token. You may do whatever you wish.
Yeah. It's a tough one. We just can't. We just can't say anything.
Yeah, we
have to sit there.
yeah.
In fact, we should just let the chairs do their business once again.
Yeah. Chairs.
As we
The
know,
chairs wouldn't have gotten sued.
the chairs wouldn't have got. The chairs would be more popular, and they wouldn't give financial advice. Anyway,
I really look up to the chairs. Actually, I've learnt all I know from the chairs.
did we give them the job, Jared? The chairs. Because the chairs, the token were just like plain white ones. These ones
Just
got
like-
too much color.
so
Maybe.
Sorry, go on.
No.
I didn't have a little joke there, but you kept
Sorry.
talking.
Damn it.
I was going to say, like, we have the chairs here. It's just, silence for 20 minutes, and then Jared just pops in and goes, yeah, that was a good one. Like, his little head appears in between the chairs and then disappears again.
I was trying to think of something funny to say. I had nothing.
Yeah, no, okay. I think we've done this chairs thing. I think we had a good
All
run.
right, enough of the chairs.
No more chair chat. Chair chat. That could be the name of the podcast.
The problem is, where do we go? We haven't got anything better to offer.
You could call it passing stool.
Oh.
Okay. What's next?
Well, the chairs, seeing as we can't talk about chairs. Okay, look, Sol and XRP ETFs are positive. So here we go. Look, there has been, this week has been some serious outflows of Bitcoin. Unsurprising, right? And in fact, there has been some large investors who have actually moved from Bitcoin to ETH as well. But that said, the Solana and XRP ETFs both positive. So let's unpack that. Why is Solana and XRP still positive despite the overall market doldrums?
Yeah, again, the amounts that they're positive is kind of a drop in the ocean to the Bitcoin ETF numbers. So I think Bitcoin outflow last month was $3.8 billion or something like that. And the Sol and XRP inflows are 500 for Sol and 410, I believe, for XRP.
US.
Yeah, US dollars, which is pretty small comparatively. But I mean, the fact that they're getting inflows, it does appear that people will be rotating. Of course, a lot of people aren't rotating and they're just exiting the Bitcoin ETF because they're scared and think the cycle's over, which may be true. For me, the interesting part about this story was that there will be hundreds of ETFs launching in the next 6 months.
Hundreds.
This is crypto ETFs, by the way, like altcoin ETFs. That is a big number, and that just sort of, there's still some belief there. And obviously, the Solana and XRP ETFs show that there's still interest in the space because they're, when everything is getting these huge outflows, these guys are getting inflows.
I don't understand the interest in, I guess, if you want to get the price action, like, okay, so some of the 5 new spot ETFs that have expected to launch within the next sort of short period, next week or so. XRP, another XRP one, Chainlink and Dogecoin. I mean, Chainlink and all these types of tokens, like, I guess people just want exposure to the price, but fundamentally, don't you want to buy the token to actually use it?
I guess that's the thing. Like one of the sort of selling points of an ETF, and this is a positive and a negative depending on which way you're looking at it, is the ETF allows you to get exposure to the asset without having to figure out how to custody it. So you don't have to, like, you already have, an ASX account or whatever, like a NASDAQ account, and you can just buy some exposure to that. You don't have to sign up to an exchange. Like, everyone always hammers the idea of, not your keys, not your crypto. So probably in the back of your mind, you're sitting there going, I've got to withdraw this physical bearer asset somewhere that I have to control, and it just becomes too hard. So I guess people are just sitting there going, okay, this is just an easy way for me to get exposure. I don't have to worry about custody. It's all handled for me. But yeah, apart from that, I totally agree. When you're starting going down these long tail assets, it seems like you'd rather just do it much cheaper with zero custody yourself. You know, you can sign up to pretty much any exchange. No one charges custody fees, and so you could buy it, you know, with a smaller brokerage fee and have zero custody and not pay any kind of management fee or whatever. And it'd be a cheaper thing to do, but you need to kind of have the technical understanding and just the drive to actually want to do it yourself. Whereas getting someone else to manage it, I think, is a lot easier, especially when you're talking about corporates, right? Like for an individual, I agree with you, but when you're talking about corporates, treasuries, funds, indexes, they're not gonna be logging onto independentreserve.com and you know what I mean. They're just gonna want someone else to manage that stuff for them.
Yeah. Hey, look, we've had some more bots. He's back. Travis wasn't the only bot. We've also got Victor. We want more people asking about the purchase.
They're definitely bots. And look, on the plus side, they have to subscribe to comment, so we've got an extra 3 subscribers during the stream.
Okay.
Right.
Well, you know, we're famous enough to get bots now. That's kind of cool.
I was thinking the same thing. Like, check us out.
But yeah, for those listening, this is not us. We do not condone this token. I think the XRP and Solana ETFs so do paint a kind of a good picture. I think when people thought of ETFs originally, there's a lot of views that people like the ETF purchases would be a lot stickier. People think, you know, these companies that are buying it, they're buying it because they believe it. They want to get exposure. They're not going to sit there and try and day trade this thing and go in and out. It's going to be just general inflows for the next 10 years. And we've obviously seen that isn't true. While companies probably don't day trade it, they're there to make money. They're not going to sit there and hold a losing asset. So they're going to rebalance their portfolio and they're going to do all this kind of stuff, which does involve selling. Up until now, it's kind of been, you know, much more inflows than outflows. But, you know, as the price is kind of in this, I'm going to say secular downtrend, we're seeing like an outflow from these ETFs, which kind of proves that wrong. And so hanging your hat on the initial inflows to a Solana and XRP ETF, I think it's almost inevitable that there's going to be these inflows because, you know, it starts at zero. It can't go down from zero. So it has to have inflows to begin with. But I think we're going to, you know, it'll just join the rest of the pack and begin seeing, you know, the same flows that the other ones see, unless there's some fundamental change to one of these cryptos that means, you know, something's changed and people making a decision.
That makes sense. Actually, in reference to an earlier episode where we thought maybe you would become an actor. Maybe you would get a spot on the movie.
Yeah.
I spoke to the person who was in question, who again we can't mention because of privacy things. It's not even confirmed that you'll be part of that movie, Nick. I heard that over the weekend. That was probably the most salacious thing I heard.
What? Yeah, okay.
They know who they are. They're listening.
I spoke to them too. I didn't actually talk about the movie.
I don't think you're guaranteed a spot, Nick.
Well, I mean, I'm sure I could buy my way. Just have to pay enough money.
I was also counting on an introduction. It never happened.
I think you were too busy on the podcast, mate. You
Okay,
wouldn't, like, we were waiting for our turn and just like 3 hours later, you're still there.
Chad was interviewing the chairs.
Chairs. Man, I love those chairs.
I said you were interviewing the chairs.
Oh, yeah.
But it's fair enough because everyone wanted to watch the chairs. What did the chairs have to say? So I said we weren't going to talk about chairs, but sorry. I just had to slip it in there.
They've found their way to become relevant again.
Yeah, so we're going to have to wait a while
okay.
before. It could be a while before we see your movie debut.
So basically, it sounds like I wasn't, salacious enough during the period that this movie or whatever is documenting. So I should have just been more wild and crazy. Should have been.
Yes.
Yeah. Damn.
You didn't do enough. You didn't do enough to get
to lock my place in movie history.
In fact, in quite the opposite. We thought Leonardo DiCaprio was going to play you, but what we might actually see is me or you having to play my character.
Oh, plot twist.
Imagine that.
I would be so upset. If I had to play you and I didn't even exist in the movie. Not that I don't think you deserve it, but you know, what a hit.
Well, as it turns out, I don't think I'm guaranteed a spot. I don't think maybe Jared will be the guy. I don't know. Maybe the chairs.
The chairs.
I would like to see you play the chairs, Nick.
There's a whole like scene just of the chairs. Yeah. We couldn't afford the real chairs, so we got Nick to play the chairs.
That would be impressive. Yeah. Okay. So stay tuned for you making your debut as a chair, Nick.
Okay. I'll do what I have to do. Like if if that's what it means for me to get on the screen. I'll do it.
Actors that played. Jared is madly googling actors that have played chairs. Do we get any? No, probably not. I can't imagine there would have been many actors that have played chairs. In their
Yeah,
career.
I'm surprised there's any results for that.
I'm looking up a website where it's official celebrities' names who sound like furniture.
Okay. Oh, I see. To play like the. Yeah.
Coffee table and
none of these
Nan.
are good.
Coffee table and Nan.
Peter
Oh,
Couch.
these are Peter Couch.
Sofa Anderson.
Sofa Vergara.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I don't look much like her though, so that might not work. But she's playing a chair. Yeah. Should we get back to the news?
why not?
Let's talk about.
ZK Tech is making big strides.
Okay.
So this is kind of techie one, but kind of interesting one. So there is talk that Ethereum's ZK scaling solution. You know what? You take this one.
Yeah, this is actually for me. I'm a bit of a nerd. I found this one pretty interesting. Ethereum's zero knowledge proofs have taken leaps and bounds recently, with the kind of goal to scale the layer 1 network. The current plan is to get up to 10,000 transactions per second. I think currently it does. Actually, don't know. It's like between 20 and 40 transactions per second or something. It's pretty low. So 10,000 is a huge jump. And essentially, the way they've done this is this team from the ZK Sync team. It's called the Airbender team. They've been inventing this new technology that allows them to create the zero knowledge proofs on basic hardware. So up until this point, it would take specialized, very expensive hardware to generate these zero knowledge proofs. And now these guys have shown that it's possible to do it on 2 consumer level GPUs, graphics cards, basically. How did they do this? Well, I don't know. These guys are absolute geniuses. Okay, so these are low level cryptographic engineers, very specialized tasks that they've had to work on here to get this done. But basically, I've written this down. So basically, they've parallelized the code, which means previously there's a lot of code that kind of ran one after the other, and it took a lot of time. They figured out how to make a lot of it just run all at the same time. They've used custom kernels. So a kernel is kind of like the real base level code that runs the hardware. They've, instead of using a normal standard kernel, which is kind of built for other hardware potentially, they've looked at these graphics cards and built their own kernels specifically for these graphics cards, specifically to this parallelized zero knowledge proof generation code, which helped a lot. They figured out that they could pre-compute a bunch of the stuff. So basically, pre-compiling or pre-computing code is kind of like, in those TV shows where they're like cooking something and like, here's one I prepared earlier, and they pull out like, the cooked chicken because they don't want to waste time. They've kind of done that. They've kind of like cooked the chicken ahead of time. And then instead of having to cook the chicken every time that they're doing this calculations, they're like, no, we've already cooked the chicken here. Just use this cooked chicken, and they can just use it over and over again. So they figured out where they can. They've cooked the chicken first, which helps speed up things a lot. And also, in the difference between a GPU and a CPU, you might have heard a lot about GPUs, especially like back in the day, people would mine Ethereum on GPUs. A lot of AI stuff, as you'll hear a lot of GPU chat about AIs. GPUs are different from CPU. CPU is it's called the central processing unit. It's the thing inside your computer that really controls everything. A GPU is a graphical processing unit, so it's the thing that controls the stuff that gets sent to your monitor, basically. So the better your GPU is, the more pixels you can shoot out on your monitor, the faster you can do it, and the more frames per second you can have. In crypto worlds, GPUs, it turns out, are very good at doing cryptographic functions. So they're very good at hashing. So hashing is very important in the cryptographic world. It's also very important, or GPUs are very important in AI, because the computational tasks that are required for AI are just very suited to GPUs as well. But for zero knowledge proofs, they've figured out how to use these GPUs really effectively. And essentially, one of the big problems with the way they previously were using GPUs was around how they used the RAM. So RAM is like the memory inside the GPU is very fast. Previously, they were doing a lot of, they'd write some RAM, they'd have to delete it, write some more RAM, and move stuff around, and it was very slow. So these guys, this Airbender team, have figured out how to, instead of doing that, the RAM is all relayed out in a way where a lot of it doesn't have to be rewritten. And just all of these kind of things and these very specific different areas of code, different areas of the hardware have come into play to make them be able to do these zero knowledge proofs on graphics cards now. 2 graphics cards can basically verify zero knowledge proofs for the whole network. It's absolutely amazing. Like, this is actually groundbreaking stuff. This can be applied outside of Ethereum zero knowledge proof stuff as well. It's very zero knowledge kind of related, but zero knowledge proofs can be used everywhere. Like, well, not everywhere, but you know what I mean? Like in all different applications. And these guys have just created this thing. It's absolutely amazing, actually. The work they've done is incredible. And they're doing it for Ethereum zero knowledge proof generation, which basically allows you at the other end. So when you're validating a transaction on the Ethereum network, now instead of having to recompute the entire transaction, entire set of transactions inside each block, you can just get this tiny little zero knowledge proof and go, does this thing make sense? And if it makes sense, then you can assume that all transactions are valid. And so the benefit of this is now, instead of having to recompute everything, you can just do the zero knowledge proof, which means you can now, instead of doing one like small set of transactions, you can do, 100 times the transactions now, because you've got all this extra computational power to muck around with, because the validators only have to validate a zero knowledge proof. The consequence of this means that you can increase the gas limit on the transaction, on the blocks and the transactions, and therefore you can have, work your way towards 10,000 transactions per second. It's going to be incredible. So I think they're looking to do it in next year. They're going to start some validators doing this zero knowledge proof stuff. Maybe in 2027 they'll make it all of them or something. I don't know what the roadmap is exactly. But honestly, it's a big deal, like in terms of what these guys have managed to achieve with like essentially consumer grade hardware. They haven't had to reinvent the hardware. They haven't had to invent ASICs like they did in the Bitcoin space. They invent these specific bits of hardware that mine the Bitcoin blockchain. They didn't do that. They just said, look, what can we do with the existing hardware? Can we make it better? The way I kind of like to look at it is, do you remember when DeepSeek came out? The AI, so everyone was all over ChatGPT, and ChatGPT was the best thing since sliced bread. And then the Chinese guys came out with DeepSeek, and it basically did the same thing as ChatGPT, but used like 1/100th of the power, 1/100th of the training data. Like, it was just so much cheaper to produce, so much easier to run. I remember our CTO Roman spun it up on his MacBook. Like, he ran the full DeepSeek on his computer, like his local computer. He didn't have to have huge data center things. This is kind of what they've done. They've basically gone, how do we build this thing using the existing hardware just in a smarter way? We're not like just throwing more and more compute at it, more and more tin at it. We'll figure out how to do it better, and they've just totally nailed it. Anyway, it's all still sort of I don't think it's fully released yet, but the Ethereum Foundation guys were running demos of it at the latest chat thing that they did, and it's pretty impressive.
That's incredible. That's actually incredible. Look, I've learned a lot from, Jared gave us a big deep dive into Cardano, and now I know way more about the latest in ZK tech.
Yeah.
What does this mean to the average enjoyer? Like, it just means things are going to be, I guess we're just going to, the efficiency of being able to do what's already being done is now exponentially increased.
You know what? To me, it's almost bearish on layer 2s in a way, because if the layer 1s can do 10,000 transactions per second, it kind of erodes the benefit of the layer 2s a little bit.
Yeah, because their big thing is about like the scalability.
Exactly, their thing is all about taking away the burden off the layer 1. But it's like, and the layer 1's sitting there going, guys, burden me all you want. I've got ZK proofs here. You can throw whatever you need at me. I mean, 10,000 seconds, it's a big number. I think like, what was Visa's? Are they at 42,000 a second or something?
45,000 is fine.
45,000, on Visa. So like, it's not quite Visa level yet, but man, 10,000, like, we're not doing Visa level transactions. 10,000 is definitely enough at the moment. If everything goes back on the Ethereum layer 1, I mean, everyone talks about how the layer 2s are extractive for the value of the ETH token, the Ether token.
Yep.
So this would theoretically be bullish for the Ether token as well. I mean, I'm you know, there's a lot of things I'm jumping here, but yeah, I think, I mean, and you know what, outside of Ethereum, there's implications here as well, right? Any other chain that wants to run zero knowledge proofs can use this technology essentially. They can, you know, this can help out Solana, this can help out ZEC, this can help out, like all of these guys who are doing this kind of stuff can look at what these guys have done and you know, reapply it for their chain, I think. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Again, like this is one of those things where they've, you know, released it in the lab, but we need to see how it works in real life.
Gotcha.
But yeah, no, it's I don't know. I was excited when I read this. It's almost like a side.
Oh,
note
really?
as
I
well.
can hardly tell.
But it felt very underplayed, right? I feel like, you know, there wasn't much fanfare about it, but what these guys have achieved is amazing, actually.
Well, I guess for the average observer, they don't probably appreciate just how much, as you've articulated, just how impressive what they've achieved is.
Well, ZK zero knowledge proofs are really revolutionary, especially when it comes to online identity and keeping certain identity proofs or identity details private. So I can basically go to a third party, show them my ID, my passport, my credit card numbers, and then they verify it. And then I can give that verification to third parties without them seeing my passport, without them having to hand over my credit card numbers. And so it's got a whole lot of different applications that can be really good for privacy as well. And again, that's the flavor of the month at the moment.
Yeah, I think like the real benefit here is the speed at which they've figured out how to do it. So when you're talking about something like zero knowledge proofs for identities, like transactions per second aren't so important. The idea, like the technology of zero knowledge proofs is awesome. And it can be used in so many places. I wonder, yeah. I mean, yeah, in terms of the privacy of the everyday person could definitely be increased. Does it, you know, will people go to the effort of implementing it when there's, you know, what's the incentive? I guess we as the people must vote for those who will start requiring it. I don't know. That's beyond me.
Just quickly as a side note, I was trawling through LinkedIn, and you know how they say that imitation is the best form of flattery?
Yeah.
We've got old mate Enoch Wong has just started his own daily market update called the Crypto Dispatch.
Ooh.
And
Is it just two chairs?
No, it's his bullet point update of the crypto market. And I just checked his Medium where he publishes it, and he started it in October. So
Okay.
what a coup. He must be a subscriber. I've just checked him out. We've got mutual connections, so
And
he's
is he-
definitely seen our stuff.
And does his one go out at like 4 p.m. on Tuesdays or something? Like just after ours? This like gathers all our
It's
information.
exactly 3 p.m.
Oh, okay.
Every day though. So
Oh, wow.
daily dispatch.
I mean, great. Now we just advertised it. No, I'm sure he's very good. I'm sure his mother's proud.
He lists his interests as crypto, S&P, and K-pop.
we
Have you
don't
seen
do enough
K-pop?
K-pop. Maybe we'll sell your content.
It's true. Did you see? So K-pop Demon Hunters 2 was coming out. I saw the shorts. My kids love K-pop Demon Hunters.
I've not yet seen K-pop Demon Hunters. I've
Oh,
heard the song. My kids are into it. They've watched it a few times. I've not yet seen it.
Well, let them know. Version 2 is on its way. And the one with the long hair, not the main one, I don't know what her name is. Rumi's the main one, but the other one with the long hair, she might have a brother.
What?
Dun, dun, dun.
Well, my daughter went along as one of them to Halloween.
Wow, and you haven't even seen it. Come on.
Man, I'm more of a two chairs kind of guy.
You know how that like
You get me a good couple of chairs, a bit of furniture, doing nothing, and I'm there.
I feel like you know the Between Two Ferns. We should do like Between Two Chairs. Like,
Zach Galifianakis, is
yeah, that's the one.
I know.
Anyway.
I don't know how he manages to keep a straight face when he does what he does. There's a plug for a show that's not us.
Because he's worried he's going to go. I don't know. I only saw the one where he did it with Barack Obama, and I'm like, this is high stakes doing something with the current sitting president of the United States.
I've watched a few of those, and I know we're digressing, and not that we ever do that, but like he, surely his guests know that, but I don't know if they're playing the role really well or he's playing the role really well because he lampoons them so well, but they also take it in a way that like they genuinely seem offended. but they can't really be offended, right?
Surely not.
So
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I'm like, wow, are they playing? Like, who's doing the better job here? I can't quite tell.
It's
You
like-
know he's taking the piss,
Yeah.
but you know they should know that he's doing that, but yet
Yeah.
they still do the best job of showing they're outraged.
Could it be like a roasting, where it starts off with everyone having fun, and then by the end of it, the guy's like, I've been roasted enough. I hate this. I hate whoever. I hate everyone. It reminds me of do you remember Ali G? When he
Yeah.
used to do those like actual interviews, like random people out in the street, and no one knew who he was, so he could get away with whatever. People couldn't believe what the stuff he was saying. But then at some point, it's like, no, he's too famous now, and he just literally can't do that anymore. That part of his career is over because too many people know him. So anyone getting interviewed by Ali G or Borat or whoever it was is just sitting there like waiting for the punchline. Like they know exactly it's Sacha Baron Cohen behind the scenes. Like,
Yeah. Oh.
Anyway, but Zach, Galifianakis, he's a comedian. People have got to understand what they're getting into.
And they've
right?
seen the show before, I presume. Like,
Surely.
there's no way Obama did not have someone go, hey, by the way,
Yeah.
this is his shtick.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm guessing Obama would have writers giving
Surely.
him the line. You know what I mean? Like giving him the.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel my cynical, thoughts on this are the whole thing is scripted. People are just acting.
They did a good job either way.
Yeah.
You
Still
know?
funny.
Yeah. Nice. All right. Well, we've wrapped up the news.
Have we? I want to talk about Jane Street.
Oh, sorry. We've not wrapped up the news.
Yeah, we haven't finished wrapping.
Jumped the gun.
So there's a story this week about how Jane Street are cycling out of Bitcoin ETFs and into Ethereum ETFs. They're kind of doing this. So I guess we kind of touched on it with the Solana stuff, but this is a very specific, not Solana related news about. Yeah, so these guys are basically Jane Street is this, for those who don't know, is this huge trading firm. I believe SBF
He used to work there. That's where he cut his teeth.
Yep, so SBF, the guy who was running FTX, the massive exchange that fell over in 2021 and kind of caused that bear market. So he originally worked there, but they're this massive liquidity provider, trading desk, famously neutral. Not famously, but they're not a directional fund. They're not making bets on the market. They're just providing liquidity to different desks and markets. And they have sat there and sold a whole bunch of their Bitcoin ETF positioning and bought into Ethereum. And this is like a specifically directional bet, right? They've gone no Bitcoin, yes Ethereum. And that kind of made me sit up. I was like, whoa, what are these guys doing? Either they've got, some huge customers come in and this is their way of hedging some flow where the customers bought a bunch of ETF, a bunch of Ethereum, so they need to buy Ethereum to hedge this. Or these guys are looking at the market and going, we're neutral generally, but something's happening here.
Yeah,
we need to get a piece of this because it's so obvious to them that they need to buy some Ethereum. So I don't know. I thought that was kind of interesting. We'll see how it plays out, but yeah, worth mentioning. I thought Jane Street buying Ethereum, bullish Ethereum.
I mean, we need a mole. We need an insider. We need a Jane Street
Yeah, I
mole
would
to
love
come
to
and tell
talk
us.
to who made this decision and find out what the reason was for. Anyway,
Nice.
the end.
The end. All right. Nick, what a week. It's been awesome. ACC, maybe not the market so much, but we're back a little bit.
Yeah.
Trump and China are friends now.
If we look at sort of cycle theory, again, absolutely not financial advice. These kind of you get to the end of the bull market, you hit your all-time highs, you come off as we have, and we've had a pretty rough descending from the all-time highs, no bounces whatsoever, straight down to sort of $80,000. You kind of usually get a month or two of relief. So this is my call.
We're in the eye of the storm.
Yeah, I think we're going to see some sort of longer term over the next few weeks, month to kind of upward motion. We're not going to get back to all-time highs at all, but no, we're going to. Yeah, I reckon we'll have a bounce here, and then it'll continue down as we descend into the depths of this coming bear market.
Oh, we're up then down again.
I think we're going up at this stage. Yep.
We're definitely going up or down. That's for sure.
Yes. Is it the one or the other?
Oh,
Do you know where that's from?
That's from. I know the
K-pop
song. I know
reference.
the
Okay, you know
song.
the
I know the
song,
song.
so-
Everyone knows the song.
Can you hit
can't
those high
avoid it.
notes?
Oh no. We should.
They're ridiculously high.
It would be really awful if I tried as well.
Yeah,
So I won't.
yeah, good. Yeah, it was awful enough when we both said happy trading or whatever that thing was. So.
It's iconic.
Like, the K-pop Demon Hunters talk about us, I'm pretty sure, and our sign-off. It's going to be featured in the second K-pop Demon
Second
Hunters.
movie.
That's how they're going to sign off the whole movie. And everyone's going to be saying it.
There's going to be memes about us. People are going to be copying us.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know, and you're going to be playing me in an upcoming movie.
Yeah, as a chair.
As a chair.
So here's Lee as a chair being played by Nick.
Alrighty. All right, till next time.
See ya.
Happy trading.
Lee and Nick.